This is a behind the scenes EMA Mortgage podcast. We cover the local GTA West, Southwest Ontario markets. We will highlight real life experiences of clients, partners, and experts. I am your host, Raymond Daez. Our goal with this podcast is to share information that relates to customers' home buying experiences. We will provide information and insights to mortgage related content. Welcome, Canada. Welcome, GTA West, Southwest Ontario. That's you, Milton, Mississauga, Georgetown, Brampton, Caledon, Guelph, Cambridge, Kitchener, Burlington, Hamilton, Ancaster, and Toronto. Welcome, everyone. We are so lucky to have a special guest today. Karen is a wonderful client of EMA Mortgage Team. She is a homeowner that bought her first rental property. You will love her energy and her passion on the topic. She is kind enough to share her time and her expertise with us today. Make sure to watch and listen until the end of the episode as we have some bonus content. Welcome, everyone. I've got a special guest today. Her name is Karen. Karen is a wonderful client of EMA Mortgage Team. She is a first-time investor, and we're so lucky to have her today. Now, welcome, Karen. How did you become interested in investing in real estate?
You know, it was something I knew I wanted to do for a long time. I just didn't know how or if it was for me. And I don't know if you remember, we met a few years ago, when I was, kind of toggling with the idea, and I just wasn't ready then, I needed to be ready, and I wasn't ready. But then a few years later, I was meeting with a friend actually, and he was talking about, he has 2 properties and, how easy it was for him to acquire these properties. And I thought, what, if he can do this, I can do this. I need to get this going, and spoke to my real estate agent. And, again, your lovely name came up and wanted to meet with you, and we discussed a plan. So honestly, for me, real estate, again, it's something I knew I wanted to try. It's something that I wanted. I want to be my own boss, Raymond, I want to be able to change the trajectory of my history and be my own boss, build generational wealth for my family. And for me, that is really important. I want to be able to teach my daughter and my nephew other ways. You don't just have to, obviously going to school is great. You need your education, but you want them to know that you can be your own boss. You can have your things and acquire them and grow and build. And for me, that was important, I guess.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's for me is, I guess, the reason I want to build generational wealth.
That's an excellent reason to do it, and as great as anything else out there. Now, obviously, you contacted Barb, our trusted real estate agent, and
Yes.
it's a mutual friend,
Yes.
and she showed you a property.
Yes.
And tell me about this property that you invested in.
Okay, well, I have to say this property chose me. Okay, and I'll tell you why. So when I spoke to Barbara, I was like, okay, I'm looking for, this particular property. And she was like, I may have one for you. And I was like, really? It's not on the market yet, but let's go and have a look at it. We went to look at it, and I knew this property had to be mine. It was meant for me. It's a semi-detached bungalow,
Okay.
3 bedrooms on top. When we purchased it, it had 1 bedroom downstairs.
Okay.
So now what we've done is we're renovating it from top to bottom. We're making 2 bedrooms downstairs. It'll have its own laundry, separate entrance. It's ideal. So I love the space. It is illegal. It's legal. Okay.
Legal
It already has its designation, which is
Awesome.
very important. Okay. Especially when you're investing and so forth, and you want to rent it out. You want to make sure to, have certain things in order for yourself. It saves you a lot of the headaches. The property is 40 years old, so it required quite a bit of renovating, the wiring, the plumbing, a lot of the things that you can't see. So when you start pulling down the walls, is when you get to see what's happening behind the walls. So a lot of things had to be done or are being done in that respects. Yeah, what else?
Now, as obviously we talked a little bit earlier, you mentioned you're in the middle of this renovation.
Yes,
So there's certain things that obviously you have to make a change to. So
yes,
currently, as it stands, it's in the middle of renovation, but
yes.
you're going from a 1 unit property to a 2 unit property, or is it three?
It was always 2 units.
Oh, it's always two
It was
units. Okay,
always 2 units, but the lower unit had 1 bedroom, and we're making it a 2 bedroom
perfect.
because the space is there. And the way it was set up, it was being used as a 2 bedroom. It just didn't have that divider wall. So we just went in and put that second bedroom in, which makes more sense down
So
there.
it makes sense. It makes sense to spend that investment on it to make sure that you're able to maybe increase the rental income. Is that what your thought process was?
Definitely, definitely. It commands that the space is there, and the area commands that a 2 bedroom there. And to tell you the truth, it's already rented.
Oh, oh, that's awesome.
It's already rented. So I shared some pictures with this particular person. Now, to be fair, to say the person who lived there before is the same lady who wanted it. I wasn't sure if she wanted to come back, but
Okay.
I said to her, it's now a 2 bedroom. I am charging 1,400 plus utilities, and she was like, I
Mhm.
want it. So I sent her some pictures,
Okay.
and I said to her, you're free to come in next week just so you can get a feel for what's happening. She was like, I've lived there before. I know it's going to be spectacular when you're done with it. I want it. She sent me her application. It's filled out. I'm just doing, the background check now. And so downstairs is a go.
Now, I know this purchase property is under both yourself and Mark's name.
Yes,
Now, Mark is your
my
lovely
husband.
husband.
Yes,
We've got a certain connection, me and him, and then
yes,
me and you as well.
of course.
And clearly, because you guys are spouses, you love each other.
Yes,
Now you've got a joint venture
we
together.
do.
Is this the first time that you guys actually work together on anything, or is this going to be is it going to be a technically a learning process for you guys to work together on a big project?
Well, I'm going to start by saying this. I love my Marky Poo, and that's what I call him, my Marky Poo. He's going to
Well,
be
that's what
mad
I
at me.
call them too.
Marky Poo,
Yeah.
great guy. Now, this project or this adventure journey, is like what I like to call it, was always mine. I have to say that I was lucky that I found a spouse that was willing to come along with me on my journey. So I was lucky in that respects. And so, to be quite honest, I tend to take the lead. Okay, when it comes to the projects, but he's my backup. He's my support. If I need him, he's there. He's the one who goes to the house. He's the one who checks to see what the guys are doing. This weekend we have a shed to take down, so him and his boys will deal with all those things. We work together fine as long as I'm in charge.
That's I could tell based on our experiences going through the process and stuff.
Yes.
But like you said, he's critical to
Oh,
having been there for
yes.
both obviously on the financial, the
Yes.
emotional support, and
Yes.
clearly now you're putting him to work and stuff. Does he get to
Yes.
bill you for labor that he's putting into it?
Eh,
All right, good,
meh.
good. That's good to know. Now, can I ask you? So, tell me about your experience so far, and was there any surprises? What have you learned from this project that you currently have?
It has been a roller coaster of emotions, you know. Um, the experience so far, watching videos, watching people do it is so different than when you actually do it. Okay. Made for TV is made for TV. Okay. But when you're actually in the thick of things, you learn a lot. You have to think on your feet. Um, you know, um, for instance, when they took down the walls and they're talking about all this extra wiring that's not supposed to be there, my head was exploding. What to do, how to manage it, what is this going to be an extra cost, how can we mitigate that, this is my budget, so learning how to come around that and find workarounds and ensuring that whoever's working with you understands that you have a budget. Okay, they need to know that you have a budget and you're sticking to the budget. So if we have to change things around, you have to be able to do that. And also remember, you want your rental property to look good, but remember you're renting it, so you may not need certain things that you may think you may need, it needs a nice light, but does it need the $300 light? Probably not, So I think that for me has been the experience, learning to pull back a little bit and not putting in all these, well, I want this and I want that. It's not necessary. So learning to have that balance. And I have to tell you, Barbara came in, I was like, Barbara, I don't know what to do because, I got really overwhelmed. And she's like, nope, 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 return, return, return. I was like, okay. So kind of having a team, a good support team around you to be like, you don't need this, Karen. Why do you need this? Is also good, and Barbara's there for me in that respects as well. So having that good team is important. Building that tribe then is important. I would say you're a part of my tribe. When it comes to dollars and cents, you're my tribe. When it comes to housing, Barbara's that. So having that team, having a good contractor, having people around you can trust is so vital. So that's been my experience thus far. And I'm still learning and growing in this, and I'm so looking forward to the journey.
So you made the leap from home ownership, obviously, you've always
Yes.
been a homeowner,
Yes.
to a first-time investor.
Yes.
If Well, I know you're a part of a lot of groups. I know that you talk to a lot of people, and I think I've told you in the past that I think you've surpassed what I know already with regards to a lot of investments and how to deal with them. And you come back with spreadsheets to take a look
Yes.
and basically work with and stuff. So for somebody that is thinking about making or doing the same thing as you have,
Yes.
you have done, which is investing in their first rental property.
Mhm.
Give me one or two things that you can recommend to that person that says, you know what, if Karen can do it, I should be able to do it. I'd love to be able to, follow her steps and stuff. Couple of recommendations that you may be able to give somebody that wants to do the same thing as you're currently doing right now.
First thing is do your research. Okay, do some research. Find out if what location are you looking for. What area are you looking to buy? An apartment building? Are you looking to buy, like myself? Let's start small. Let's buy a house. We bought a semi-detached. It does have 2 units, a duplex. Start small, do your research, find your tribe or your team. Have the people that you trust around you is so vital. I would say, make sure that when you're getting your paperwork, it's important to get your paperwork together. Make sure that it's clean, it's precise, and you're sharing with somebody who can kind of help you, make sure that it's correct. You're going to want that. You're going to want you're going to need that. Stay organized, and get started. Just start, get started. And as you go along, you will learn. I promise you, you will learn. You'll be able, if like me, I call Raymond, I don't know. What does this mean? I don't understand this. And, but just get started. And once you get started, get your feet wet, you're just going to keep going, and the momentum will keep growing. I promise. Do it. When I'm in the midst of buying a property, I want to bring my contractor in.
Good.
And to kind of give me an idea of what the cost is. It was just, we came up with between 20 to 30,000 because that's what me and Barbara thought. I don't know. What do we know? But when you have somebody else who comes in who works in that area, they'll give you a better numbers, because we're looking at 30 and it's basically doubled that. You know what I mean? So that was one of my lessons learned.
Now, obviously you're in the middle of a current renovation project, and
Yes.
and I'm assuming in the next few days, few weeks, it'll be done soon.
Yes.
Now,
I'll have
that's in
pictures.
the short term. What
Yes.
is Karen and Mars Corporation going to look like after this specific project? What's the longer term perspective? What are your next investment goals?
Buying another house and doing it all over again. I do want to get to a point. I want to buy a second house. And then once we get to that second house, maybe we'll do, maybe I'll find a partner and partner up with somebody if I can't afford to do a third one on my own. But my second one I want to have on my own or with my husband, obviously, in our little corporation that we're building. But I'm just going to keep growing and building. I want another house. If I can, eventually buy a small apartment building, 2-3 years from now, Raymond, you'll help me do that.
It'll do
But
that.
right now, I'm going to stick to houses. Also, I want to look at other ventures, maybe private lending. There's so much things we can do in this realm. So I think it's also good to keep your options open and to see what's around you. But if you're looking to get into housing, get it done, do it.
Now, obviously, we're in the middle of a pandemic. A
Yes,
lot of people are, questioning their finances.
yes,
Maybe, you just want to, maybe buy your first property to live in.
yes,
We get a lot of questions, and because you're in the real estate space, you're in the investment side of things, you've got a different perspective on it. Do you still recommend to I guess the general public to either invest in rental property today or buy their first home owner occupied property? Is that still a good idea right now?
yes, it is. Definitely, it is a good idea. The first thing you have to look at, I would say, is your job secure? What is your job situation like? If you know your job is secure and you're okay, go ahead and pursue it. Get that property. If it's your first time, get a property where you know that you can rent out the lower level, or maybe rent out upstairs and you live in the lower level until things can get better. But definitely, if you can jump in to buy a property and you can afford it, do it. Again, and I was telling my cousin the other day, buy a property, live in the basement. You live in a basement now, rent upstairs. There's so many different options. And also too, with you on the team, you could help them organize that. You did with us. Even with this property that we're in right now, you helped us, we were able to pull out some equity and we were able to purchase that. But, as a first-time homeowner, even better, you're able to get that property and then you're able to rent out part of it. I would say go ahead and do it. Just make sure your job is secure. Yeah, you know?
Thank you so much. Again, you've been very generous with your time. You've been an awesome, awesome client, and
Thank
I
you.
always love talking to you. And for scenarios like this, where I reached out to you for your help, and you were more than willing to definitely contribute and help out to anybody else. Like I said, it's a great person that then the such as you that would share your knowledge, your experiences, and have that pass on to the next person and stuff. Again, thank you so much
Pleasure.
for your time, Karen, and that's it.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thanks.
having me, Raymond. I mean, when I got the first quote, I was like, "What? No way." Second quote, I was like, "Oh my God." Third quote, I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Call here, like, oh,
Woohoo! Thank you.
make sure that
I
it's
put on
all.
some lip gloss for you, Raymond. See?
Oh, me too. No, I'm just kidding. It's my
You
lip
know?
gloss.
You're
You're the star.
you're
You
so funny.
honestly, you're the star. You know that.
Oh,
Hey, Karen, you did that basement, and I love how it's designed.
right. We work together fine as long as I'm in charge.